from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
He was gunned down in front of his own home. Nearly 4 years later, San Antonio police still haven't caught 17-year-old Darnelio Garza's killer.
And as his mother tells her, Daniela Ibarra, she's frustrated with the lack of answers and justice.
Ooh, this is the first time.
In 2020, Carol Falcon called this stretch of McCullough home. For her to come back, it took courage.
What do you think about being back here?
I feel still empty. It's painful because this is where he took his last breath.
Her 17-year-old son, Darnelio Garza, struggled to find work during the pandemic.
He had dreams about going to the Navy, to the Army. 2 weeks before this happened.
San Antonio police say Garza was shot and killed in his front yard on July 31st, 2020. Falcon was at work and rushed home.
Right there. Right here. I remember I came, and when I came, he was already covered with the tarp.
Police say Garza was meeting 3 friends when one of them ambushed him and shot him in the head.
I'm not going to say my son was perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but nobody deserves, for your life to be taken.
4 years later, nobody's been arrested for Garza's murder.
I don't desire or wish this upon anybody, upon a mom, and, I did the best that I can with him and with everybody.
We asked SAPD if we could talk with the detective handling this case. A spokesperson told us there aren't any updates.
That's the most frustrating thing that I find, and I've stayed silent for 4 years.
Falcon hopes someone comes forward to bring her peace and justice.
I just want them to know that I'm not mad. Whoever did it, I tell my kids I forgive them. I do.
Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
A mother's tears. Crime Stoppers is offering up to $5,000 for information that could lead to an arrest. You can call 210-224-STOP, and remember, you can stay anonymous.
In other news, the FBI raiding 3 popular tamale shops here in San Antonio and in the Rio Grande Valley today. Those raids were conducted this morning. You heard about this at the Delia's Tamales on Houseman Pass near Loop 1604, and also the locations in Farr and McAllen. We reached out to the FBI to ask them about the reason for the investigation. We were told that agents were conducting, quote, court-authorized law enforcement activity. But according to myrgv.com in McAllen, the company that owns Delia's, Delgar Foods, is also facing a federal wage theft lawsuit.
A teenage girl, the subject of a search, the suspect in a local murder. San Antonio police have released a new photo of 17-year-old Adaya Namir Roberson. They believe she shot and killed the manager of a Sonic restaurant on Babcock Road earlier this month. The family of 33-year-old Daniel Shrewsbury says he was killed after refusing to accept counterfeit money. Some people following the case wondering why that suspect is still on the street tonight.
I thought it was a very good photo, and I can't believe they haven't, somebody hasn't turned her in yet.
It's very surprising to me that this hasn't been resolved yet.
Originally, police released a set of surveillance pictures, and they have confirmed that Roberson appears in those photos as well. They say the second person who was caught on camera, no longer a suspect in this case.
He's going to enter a plea of not guilty.
San Antonio attorney Nico LaHood speaking on behalf of his client, former Uvalde School District police officer Adrian Gonzalez. Now, Gonzalez is going to be arraigned in a Uvalde court tomorrow on the state felony charges that he's facing related to the failed response to the Robb Elementary School shooting.
A former Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo was also charged but will not be present Thursday because he waived this first appearance. As Eric Hernandez reports, LaHood and his client showing up is their way to get a sense of what to expect with this case.
It's a hard case in the sense that it's emotional. I mean, you're dealing with so much loss, and you're dealing with precious children.
Attorney Nico LaHood understands the magnitude of the case against his client, former Uvalde School District officer Adrian Gonzalez. Last month, Gonzalez and Arredondo were indicted in connection with the failed response to the May 2022 mass shooting that killed 21 people. Arredondo was indicted on 10 counts of abandoning, endangering a child, while Gonzalez was indicted on 29 counts of the same charge.
He feels he did nothing wrong, and he was there just to help. He was not the incident commander. He was not in charge of anybody. And so there's going to be a long process of us gathering evidence and trying to figure out exactly the specific manner and means of how the government is charging Mr. Gonzalez for this specific allegation.
LaHood says the volume of evidence they have to go through will be the biggest task.
Our understanding from the prosecutor has told us that there's an enormous amount of evidence, as you can imagine, with over 370 law enforcement officers there. You can imagine the body cams, the reports, school video. There's just going to be a lot to look through, and that's going to be a long process.
As the case moves forward, LaHood says it's still too early to say if he will be filing a motion for a change of venue, but he hopes the public does not judge his client until all evidence can be presented.
That righteous anger that is justifiable and understandable, I mean, just pause and see whether it's appropriately directed towards Mr. Gonzalez or not.
Tomorrow's hearing will be at 8:30 in the morning. Now, no cameras are allowed inside the courtroom, but we will be live from Uvalde on KSAT 12 and KSAT.com. I'll also be inside the courtroom, and we'll have the latest from you from that hearing, as well as any reaction of what comes of that hearing. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, so right now it's 84 degrees out there. All right, so tell us what's happening outside, Adam.
You know, locally it's very quiet. We just have a mixture of sun and clouds. It's off to the east and southeast of San Antonio. This has been the sweet spot of rainfall over the past few hours, and especially between I-10 and I-37 from Wilson County into Karnes County, Gonzales, now DeWitt. Lavaca County getting clipped by some of it, but most of it's a little bit closer to the Gulf coastline, and a lot of it has fizzled out in the Floresville, Stockdale, Poth area. Locally, not a lot to talk about here, even stretching up into Canyon Lake, where we have had a lot of rain, several inches over the past few days. Just this little bit of ground clutter, and you see some outflow boundaries moving around. And those outflows, they can kickstart new showers, and we had just a few of them pop up. One near Government Canyon State Natural Area, and the newest one right now, just near Bandera. Now, keep in mind, this is a part of our area that picked up 6-7 inches of rain over the past couple of days. This is just one isolated, very brief splash and dash downpour. Then we head off to the west, particularly Uvalde, and you see one downpour there in Uvalde and just south of the city there, between Uvalde and La Pryor on Highway 83. This activity I anticipate to mostly come to an end over the next couple of hours, with just a few stragglers later on tonight. So our rain chances really falling off 10 to 20% overnight. We'll talk about more opportunities for rain and just how much we've gotten and how the lakes have responded in a bit.
Check out traffic right now. We're going to take you almost downtown. This is I-10 in Frio. Looking downtown, you can see the westbound lanes of I-10, especially on the upper deck. You can see they're doing some construction there, so they have some lanes closed. That's the backup that you're seeing heading towards us. Heading away, that's just, as I-10 hits the traffic of downtown. So I-10 in Frio, a trouble spot in really both directions on the upper deck.
In a few hours, President Joe Biden is going to deliver a national address on his decision to drop out of the 2024 race. That announcement of the primetime speech comes after he suspended his re-election bid back on Sunday. The president endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to take his place. The president is among hundreds of Democratic Party officials who have announced their support for Harris. You can watch the president's address right here after our newscast. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. We're going to be airing it here on KSAT. You can also watch it on KSAT.com and on KSAT Plus.
The members of a bipartisan task force to investigate the Trump assassination attempt will be announced tomorrow. That's according to House Speaker Mike Johnson. He announced the formation of the task force with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. The newly created congressional task force will be made up of 7 Republicans, 6 Democrats. They will have subpoena power. The goals will be to identify the security failures that led to the shooting, seek accountability, and prevent such an attempt from happening again.
A women's substance abuse recovery center is going to help more people thanks to a new unique grant. Alpha Home, it runs 2 live-in recovery houses for women recovering from substance abuse disorder. Now a new grant is allowing them to go out into the community to find other young women in need. New studies show that mental health and substance use is spiking in 18 to 26-year-old women.
We get referrals from everywhere. Currently, my caseload is about 50. Now, it's not 50 that I deal with every single day, but I have 50 people that can call me at any point in time and say, Barbara, I need help, or Barbara, I'm doing great.
So basically, this money is definitely going to go out to help people who need it. Alpha Home recovery coach and former client Barbara Hood says that those young women stay with the program for at least a year. They get food, counseling, clothes, education, jobs, and she's hoping that this grant that they just got continues to expand.
Happening tomorrow, it's Doc Talk, and this week it is again all about kids, kid questions. Scan the QR code to send us any medical questions you have related to kids' care. We're going to take your questions to a local pediatrician. KSAT 12's Doc Talk every Thursday at 6:30.
It really can happen to anybody of any age.
Coming up in just a few minutes, long COVID is a topic that we've covered extensively here at KSAT, but it's now just being accepted as an actual medical condition. Tonight at 6:30, you're going to hear from a patient with long COVID who's finally getting the treatment she needs.
And after the break, Big Mama's Safe House has become a trusted safe haven for families on San Antonio's east side. How they're expanding their services to the west side. Next.
But before we go to the break, we want to give you another look outside with our live cam. Such nice skies right now. You know, we've had a rainy start to the week, but more rain chances are on the way. Meteorologist Adam Caskey is going to tell us when those chances are coming up.
Here's a look at some of the stories we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat at 10. Completing a dream. Becoming a parent harder for some couples than others, but in vitro fertilization for many cases makes those dreams a reality. How a San Antonio military base plays an important role in that process for military families. Plus,
a family fighting for answers 13 years after their mom went missing. Coming up tonight on the Night Beat, how they're using new technology to help find the answers.
It was started as a grassroots effort to help a community that was plagued by gun violence, poverty, and trauma.
Yeah, Big Mama's Safe House has become a trusted safe haven for families on the east side. As Patty Santos explains, now they're expanding to do the same thing on our city's west side.
And put smiles on their faces, you know, make them healthier, make them feel safer. This community really deserves the best.
This 3-bedroom unit at the Alazan-Apache Court will be a safe space for the community to get help. Starting August 5th, it will be the new home of the Casanova Community Hub, run by Penny Price.
The number one thing we're going to provide is resources for food, if they need rental assistance when it comes out, if they need mental health, if they need parenting, if they need youth mentors and stuff like that.
Price is the founder of Big Mama's Safe House in the east side.
So what we're doing is, what little funding that we do have, we're stretching it. But the biggest thing is our volunteer resources is going to be stretched. So we're asking for more volunteers.
Volunteers will man the hub 40 hours a week and help families fill out paperwork, get information, or hand out food. Right now, the rooms are empty, except for a few items already donated to the pantry. But they still need desks, printers, computers, and most importantly, they need community partners who want to see residents in this federal housing community thrive.
You know, in these neighborhoods, words travel fast. What are you hearing from community members that already know you guys are coming?
Man, they love it. They just want to see exactly what we're going to bring. And I always tell them, listen, we're going to bring the best to this community because this community deserves the best.
That was Patty Santos reporting. Now, Price and the community get very little funding from the city of San Antonio, nothing from the county for Big Mama's Safe House. The new Casanova Community Hub getting no government funding. That's why they need to raise money. They welcome donations. They need donations. We have information on how to get involved on KSAT.com. Scan the QR code on your screen right now.
Switching gears now, molds. For my fellow allergy sufferers, it's really been a big deal today because they're at a record high, and apparently it's going to continue to be an issue because we're going to be getting more rain.
Yep, whenever we get the rain, our mold count spikes, and that's been the case for several days and anticipated through the weekend as well. Otherwise, this time of year, we typically don't have other allergens in the air, but it's the mold with the rain. That's the give and take we have to deal with. Notice the rain chances at 40% tomorrow, between 50 and 60% Friday through the entire weekend. More heavy downpours popping up. Some neighborhoods could get several more inches of rain. It just depends on exactly where the heaviest downpours set up and how many of them your neighborhood could get. The action is generally west of I-35 at the moment, and it's still very widely separated. Zavala County, Dimmitt County, and Carrizo Springs just getting clipped by some of that. It was in and around Crystal City as well, getting clipped by that activity. But I want to point out, between Uvalde and Brackettville, we have these green lines. These are outflow boundaries, and some of them are colliding and coming together. I anticipate more development in and around Highway 90 between Uvalde and Del Rio just within the coming minutes and hour or so. Still some action, especially closer to the Gulf coastline, lingering into Gonzales County, very light in nature. That's dissipating. And notice this green line. It kicked out an outflow boundary that's now crossing over I-10 and heading to I-35. This outflow boundary, this green line, that's that wind, that kind of exhale from the thunderstorm that acts like a mini front, and that could kickstart new showers here momentarily anywhere along I-35 north of San Antonio. That's what we'll be watching. And even as this heads toward Canyon Lake, Smithson Valley, and Bulverde, there's a chance that could kickstart something new. I don't think we'll see a lot from that outflow boundary. It's just one of those possibilities. Otherwise, generally quiet later on tonight and to start the day tomorrow. Once we get into tomorrow afternoon, we'll have some widely separated activities start to pop up and develop. I think the Futurecast is underestimating it a little bit and underestimating the potential of the atmosphere, but nonetheless, it is painting a few of these downpours popping up, especially in the evening, but I think they'd be a little bit earlier than that. This is showing 10 p.m., still some action. We're giving it that 40% chance tomorrow from noon to 8 p.m. 87 for our high temperature. Of course, still a little below average or cooler than average for this time of year. These are actual rain gauge reports. We've been talking a lot about the radar estimates. These numbers on the screen are actual physical rain gauges calibrated to measure the amount of rain. Bandera, a rain gauge of 6.31 inches. City of Medina, 7.5 inches over the last 7 days. San Antonio International, over 2 inches, and Chavano Park, over 4 inches. Of course, we look at the drought monitor, and we've outlined the most drought-stricken parts of our area. This is in the Hill Country and just west of town. And over the last 5 days, we've had some good drought-denting rain. The purples, for example, indicate an estimate of 6 to 9 inches of rain. Even a Doppler radar estimate just south of Rock Springs of 10.1 inches of rain over the past 5 days. Pretty impressive. Now, Medina Lake is up 2 feet, or up 4 feet, excuse me, up 4 feet in 2 days. Still only at 3.1% full, so it's obviously nothing significant, but it's something. Canyon Lake, really no big difference out there, and it's still about 25 feet below the conservation pool. Our little disturbance running overhead, giving us more rain opportunities through the weekend, but that's going to disappear. And early next week, upper level high pays us a visit. So 80s tomorrow, 87 in San Antonio, but into the 90s off to the west. Eagle Pass 93, 92 in Uvalde. By and large, we'll be in the mid to upper 80s through the weekend. Next week, though, with the return of the high and sunshine, we're well into the 90s.
Let's just enjoy this while we have it. Thank you.
All right, let's go live to Oxnard right now, Cowboys camp. And I'm fixated on the idea, Larry, you're out there with Mary Rominger, so I want to have Larry and Mary interview Jerry, preferably on a ferry. Can you make that happen?
I would be happy to try to make that happen. Now, whether Jerry wants to help Mary and Larry on a ferry, that's up to him. But Spriester, I am down. All right, let's get to the teasers, folks. So, no CeeDee Lamb. He did not report to training camp. In the meantime, while he's not here, one of his teammates say they want to make him proud. And Texas fans are super excited. I mean, very excited for the upcoming season. We got it coming up. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Dallas Cowboys training camp here in Oxnard, California. The team officially reported today, and then they hit the 2 fields behind me for some light conditioning work ahead of their first practice tomorrow. And as expected, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb did not report because he's holding out for a long-term contract extension. Now, his teammates understand the business side of things, and while he's out, Tyler Smith says they want to make Lamb proud.
The his presence, obviously will be missed. But, while he's handling the things he has to handle, we have to, handle business as well. And I feel like that's the best thing we can do as teammates is just make sure that we're upholding the standard in his absence. So when he comes back, we're a well-oiled machine. We're operating at 110%.
And another guy the Cowboys cannot wait to get back is ball hawking cornerback Trayvon Diggs. Mary Rominger is here with us, and she has more on number 7.
Well, Larry, we all know sports injuries are physically and emotionally devastating. And unfortunately for Dallas cornerback Trayvon Diggs, the 25-year-old's ACL tear last season disrupted what should have been another impactful season for the Cowboys. And now, preseason, we're seeing Diggs being undermined and doubted, like not being included in ESPN's top 10 cornerback rankings. But Diggs' right-hand man, Jordan Lewis, has no doubt in the value of one of the NFL's best ball hawks.
He's definitely a savant of this game. He understands this game as well as anybody. I really think he's a genius at it, honestly. He's gonna, when he's in true form, I feel like he's one of the best defensive players in the league. So.
Why is he a genius?
He just understands the game, man. He understands, his reads. He understands what the quarterback is looking at. He understands the quarterback's feet work and, how that footwork and how that matches up receivers' routes and their depth. And it's amazing to see.
Now, unfortunately, as reported by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, Diggs is expected to start camp on the active, physically unable to perform list, meaning he's not yet medically cleared to resume full practice activities. But that can change at any moment once he passes a physical. Larry, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. So the boys will hold their first practice tomorrow morning at 11:20 local time. Saturday's the opening press conference and the opening ceremony. And how about this? For the second straight day, the Houston Texans practice in pads, and they did so in front of fans once again. Now, things always get more competitive when teams put on the pads, and tempers tend to flare a little bit more. I mean, that's just part of training camp. The Texans are clearly on the rise. Expectations are high, and yesterday, the team announced that they have already sold out all season tickets for the 2024 season.
It's humbling to see just the amount of just support that our fans here in Houston have for us already to have sold out season tickets. It shows that they want to be a part of it. They want to show up. They want to be loud. They want to support us. So I'm very thankful for the fans, right, who sacrificed to purchase season tickets and to be there to make our place at a home field advantage for sure.
I think that is very, very cool. So tomorrow is an off day for the Texans, but not for the Dallas Cowboys. More Campbell with KSAT coming up on the Night Beat. Back to you in San Antonio.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And we'll be right back after this. As COVID swept the world, it was hard not to notice some people having strange, long-lasting, unexplained symptoms after supposedly recovering from the virus.
Yeah, here at KSAT, we've done a long list of stories on what's called long COVID. It's a serious illness after you get the virus that can result in chronic, long-term, debilitating conditions.
So listen to this. Now the medical community just accepted long COVID as an official condition, and those patients are telling Courtney Friedman that this is a vindication for them.
Hello, I'm coming in. How are you?
This is an appointment 16-year-old Taylor Presson has every couple months, checking up on bizarre new symptoms that showed up immediately after she got COVID in 2022.
The fatigue was really extreme, but I could roll my ankles just by walking. I have rib subluxations, so at any one point I can talk to you and have a rib pressing into my lung. I slept a lot, and I started to have a lot of full body pain, to the point that when I went to physical therapy, I taped both of my ankles, both of my knees, and wore ankle braces.
Her doctors would not relate these issues to COVID, calling her debilitating joint issues growing pains.
When you were explaining your symptoms, what were the doctors' reactions?
Sometimes it was amazement, and sometimes I actually had doctors argue back with me saying that a human body can't do that, because I can dislocate part of my foot.
Her mom, Amy Presson, had to advocate for her daughter.
You've got that mama bear thing going on too. Look at your binder. Show us your binder. I mean,
My binder has like lab report.
She can be lighthearted now, but in the beginning, it was no laughing matter.
So you go from specialist to specialist and try to have your symptoms believed. I know she would come home and just cry.
But those tears dried up when they finally met Dr. Monica Verduzco Gutierrez from UT Health San Antonio. She's one of the world's leading experts on long COVID, the now official condition referring to the lasting ranging symptoms that hit after a bout of COVID. She was just one of 20 people who, for the last year and a half, put a paper together describing long COVID. At the direction of Health and Human Services, the National Academy of Medicine just approved the paper listing long COVID as an official condition.
Finally, you're no longer being told that's not possible or you're wrong.
we know that you can have a mild case and still develop long COVID.
Exactly, right. See, people, I had mine were literally like sniffles, like it felt like allergies. And so, and then I got long COVID.
Part of Gutierrez's passion is that she's also a patient. Her main symptoms, severe fatigue.
I could easily before go run a half marathon. I would go and run 3 miles and then not be able to run or anything for days and be very exhausted from that. The other thing was having, palpitations or having heart rate changes and feeling really bad with that. I also had really bad migraines and also was getting really bad hives and rashes.
The paper lists over 200 symptoms that could be included in a long COVID diagnosis. The main symptoms Gutierrez sees are autoimmune disorders like POTS, fatigue, heart problems, lung problems, migraines, diabetes, asthma, brain fog, or even dementia onset. The condition's designation is a huge deal, considering it can be confusing to doctors when a patient has multiple seemingly unrelated symptoms. The theory is that all organs can be affected and all issues could be caused in some way by inflammation. That's where the next step comes in, training medical professionals to spot these symptoms and immediately refer to a long COVID specialist.
So now how do we get it to the people at the front lines, to primary care, to, for other clinicians to understand the definition? Hopefully we start teaching about it more in medical schools and in residencies.
The solution then would be speeding this up and making sure that the education and dissemination is a key focus.
Exactly. Now it's getting it out there.
Getting patients in quickly is crucial because there are therapies helping ease these symptoms. Less than a year ago, we went along with Dr. Gutierrez to one of her long COVID therapies that she also prescribes her patients. It's called flow therapy, typically used for heart patients. It helps blood flow through the body from the legs all the way up. It's helped immensely, giving Gutierrez the energy and ability to work on this paper and see her patients.
They feel okay right now from what I'm feeling.
The godsend therapy for Taylor and many other patients has been constant physical therapy.
I haven't taped my knees in probably over 6 months. I haven't worn ankle braces in about a year.
Seeing her now, you'd never know she has long COVID. This girl is the busiest teen we've ever met.
Wake up at about 5 a.m. because I have to be at school at 6 to be an athletic trainer, because we just finished with spring football right before school ended. And then I have my usual school day of doing GT and college courses. And then after school, I become PEP officer, where this coming year I'm going to help lead a team of over 100 ladies.
The problem with therapy, it costs money, and for years, most long COVID therapies haven't been covered by insurance. Many debilitated patients also have had issues getting on disability. Gutierrez and the Pressons hope that now changes with this official medical recognition.
There was a report also made to the Social Security Administration to say, like, okay, these are the 200 plus symptoms. They can be debilitating adults and children.
But when more of these diagnoses are finally made, there needs to be more places for patients to go. There are only about 40 long COVID clinics in the country, not even one per state. Luckily, there's one at UT Health San Antonio, but the wait list is not short. Years ago, when we started interviewing these long COVID patients, it was up to 6 months. Now, thankfully, it's dropped to about 2. Gutierrez says UT Health now also has a grant to make their clinic a one-stop shop.
Meaning, like, when you come to see me, that also there might be a physical therapist that's there, or there might be the pulmonologist that's there if you need that.
Meanwhile, the other solution Gutierrez needs to see is more research on long COVID to find out things like, are people with certain genes more at risk? Amy's husband, Taylor's dad, also has long COVID, but sadly has not responded to any treatments.
His symptoms, dizziness, fatigue, he had lots of falls, had to start using mobility devices, cane, walker, a standard wheelchair, and just recently she ordered him a custom wheelchair because he can't even sit upright and hold his neck up. Like, he has such extreme muscle weakness that he has to be fully reclined.
So while the whole Bresson family continues to fight,
give me a deep breath.
They want the world to know this.
It really can happen to anybody of any age.
It doesn't matter if you're young or old or healthy or not, woman, man.
So if you're having trouble getting a diagnosis on some seemingly random symptoms, tell your doctor about long COVID. Get some tests run and see a specialist. You can call the long COVID clinic here at 210-450-6470 or head to their website. All of this information also on KSAT.com. For Solutionaries, I'm Courtney Friedman.
The mystery of long COVID. Can I give a shout out to Taylor, though?
Yeah.
Not only taking on the doubters in the medical community, but keeping the full day that she does.
Yeah, I can't believe that. She puts a lot of people to shame. That is a very full schedule.
Yeah.
But we hope that she and her father get some relief.
Answers
Yeah.
for so many people out there. Now, if you want to see more stories from our Solutionaries series, scan this QR code on your screen. You can also find them on the Solutionaries YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
A critical shortage of blood culture vials used for diagnostic tests is threatening to disrupt patient care. The shortage affects vials that are used to help diagnose potentially deadly bloodstream infections like sepsis. BD Life Sciences, the company that manufactures those products, first told healthcare providers about supply delays in early June. And then 2 weeks ago, the Food and Drug Administration added the vials to its list of medical device shortages. Now, according to the Centers for Disease Control, about half of all U.S. laboratories use a blood culture system that's only compatible with those very vials.
All right, we told you about this yesterday. Well, today officials temporarily closed a section of Yellowstone National Park in Montana after a hydrothermal explosion yesterday. Happened in Biscuit Basin, just north of Old Faithful. No injuries reported, but areas including the parking lots and boardwalks at Biscuit Basin closed due to safety concerns. The damage isn't yet known. The extent isn't yet known. Park staff and U.S. Geological Survey are monitoring the conditions and will reopen the area when they think it is safe. Was it a hydrothermal explosion? Remember that yesterday? The rocks were exploding, and luckily nobody was hurt, but certainly a concern over there.
Yeah, and caused some damage, of course, to the boardwalk that they had. And I mean, just a big blast of heat that came from the ground and pushed the hot rock up as well.
No blast of heat here.
Oh, no, right? Isn't that a shock? Usually in July, we're feeling the heat and it feels like an oven. This is good news. Look at these numbers. The percent of normal rainfall over the past 30 days. So if you're at 100%, you're at your average rainfall over the past 30 days. Fredericksburg, more than double. Kerrville, more than double, triple. Look at those numbers. Good to see. More stats and figures like this, along with a look at Authority radar in just a bit.
All right, we're enjoying July.
Yes.
Which you don't usually get to see or feel. But we are so far this year, Adam.
Yeah, and rainfall so far for the month of July is above average officially in town. You look at the past 30 days, and a good portion of San Antonio and Bexar County is above average. Remember, on this map here, 100% means you're at the average rainfall for the past 30 days. Anything above 100% is that surplus. So Helotes has had more than double it. It's great. Look at these numbers. This is fantastic. Seeing actual surplus amounts of precipitation. And these are some of the newest showers that just popped up. Remember earlier I was talking about the potential for a little bit of development here, Comal County and I-35 and westward. That's because of a little outflow boundary and a few of them that are out there. And we're seeing some development now. It's very recent and just popped up, but right along 281 Spring Branch, and near the Guadalupe River, just north of the Guadalupe, that's where we have this little downpour that has popped up. And you get down to Smithson Valley, it looks like something's struggling and trying to develop into Timberwood Park. We have a downpour. These are the kind that look really good off in the distance. So if you're nearby, say in Leon Springs or Stone Oak, Hollywood Park, you look off into the distance and you'll see that big focused rain shaft or curtain of rain that's coming down. I love seeing that. Otherwise, this activity, I anticipate it to be pretty quick, splash and dash, and not last very long. You see, just over the past 30 minutes, it popped up very quickly, and I don't expect it to last for a long time, but you could get a ½ inch to an inch out of some of those downpours. We'll keep watching them, of course. Rain chances at 40% again tomorrow afternoon, then between 50 and 60%, so better coverage Friday through the entire weekend. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be raining that the entire time Friday through the weekend. We're talking intermittent opportunities again, those periodic downpours that develop where it becomes luck of the draw in terms of the location. Here's a look at the aquifer, and this is the sweet spot, this blue area in the middle. So we outlined it in this black color, and that's where we really want the rainfall the most. It's good up to the north in the hill country because that slowly drains into the aquifer, but in this black outlined area, it's more of a direct hit into the aquifer. And you look over the past 5 days, nearly 5 inches of rainfall in the recharge zone. And actually, there is an EAA rain gauge just west of the rim that's in the recharge zone, and it's measured over 6 inches of rainfall. And the aquifer since Friday is up about 4.5 feet. I just love these photos. This is our favorite. Oh, from last night, I shared this on the Night Beat. I love it. Isabella decided to do a little rain dance, and that was yesterday in the rain. Now, this was today, 7/8 of an inch around Canyon Lake. Kerrville yesterday over 7 inches. Today, Budding Boulevard and Starcrest over 3 inches. That's just east of 281. And a beautiful double rainbow yesterday, and some rainbow sighted yesterday around town from some of those downpours. 87 was our high today. Thank you, rain and clouds, for keeping our temperatures down. Just over ½ an inch at the airport, 0.51 reported. High temperatures did make it into the 90s west of town. That's where we had more sunshine, didn't have as much rain. Tomorrow, 74 in the morning, 85 at noon, 87 the high temperature. Farther to the west of town, we'll probably make it into the 90s again. Sabinal and Uvalde at 92 degrees and a little bit warmer in Del Rio. But good rain chances intermittently through the weekend. The next week, it all gets shut down. Back to sunny conditions and highs in the 90s. But, you know, the average high is 96, so we'll be there.
Okay.
I got cut out in the rain today.
Yes, and you took
soaked.
a picture.
I did. Well,
why not?
What else to do?
That's what you do.
Playing in the rain, exactly.
You enjoy the rain.
And coming up, a humpback hello in the buzz.
Welcome back. A blind Barbie, that is the newest doll in Mattel's inclusive line of the popular dolls. The toy maker partnered with several charities to create this doll that you see here, including the American Foundation of the Blind. The packaging features braille writing, and she also carries a white and red cane.
You can tell it's very well planned out. The Barbie also has sunglasses. Her sensory-rich outfit features a satiny blouse, a textured ruffle skirt.
Fashionable.
Yeah. If you say so. The new doll also comes with brightly colored hook fasteners to make it easier to change Barbie's wardrobe.
So they clearly gave it thought.
Yeah. All right. A pair of fishermen were left reeling after a very close encounter with a very large mammal. Video captured off the coast of New Hampshire shows the moment a humpback whale landed on a boat. See it there again? The two men were fishing when that happened.
Yeah, so a pair of brothers on another boat, the one that you see right there, they were the ones who captured the video. They were able to jump in and get the other two people out of the water. Thankfully, nobody else was injured.
It's a big time fish story there.
That's, yeah, big time. You know they're going to be talking about that forever. I would.
I know technically it's a mammal, but
okay.
Still. Before we go, I want to show you a breaking traffic situation. This is 410 at Marbach. You can see the exit right there. A big backup. Traffic closed.
ABC News is going to cover the Biden address in a few minutes after the break.